Welcome back, Soulful Society, to Soulful of Wellness,
the multi-generational podcast brought to you by two functional imperfectionists
and certified coaches
who deliver tips to live your most authentic and balanced life.
Happy November! In today's episode, we're looking at gratitude with a new lens. Are you tired of the internet telling you to write a gratitude list? We get it. Today, we're going to get into what gratitude is not and how to practice it in a new way so that you can get the scientifically proven health benefits sooner.
Let's get to it.
All right, so there's a lot to cover here, right? Gratitude is definitely a buzzword, a keyword in the wellness world and on the internet, but for a good reason. Today, we're going to cover what gratitude is not, how to practice gratitude if you're feeling particularly stuck, and then we're going to go over a little challenge for you as it is National Gratitude Month in the month of November.
Perfect month for it. We have Thanksgiving, but that can be a little confusing in its own right because gratitude is not just saying thank you.
It's not just one day out of the year on the calendar.
You order from Starbucks, the person hands you your drink, you're excited, you say, thank you so much. Wonderful. It is good to be thankful, but that's not the same thing as having gratitude in your life, at least not in the way we're talking about to reap these particular health benefits.
And I really do feel like the main task that the internet is saying to do is, well, write a gratitude list or morning journal or morning pages and, try and fill, let's say, 35 lines with things that you're grateful for. And I feel like through talking with friends and family, that doesn't resonate with everyone. And it doesn't feel authentic to everyone.
If it does for you, that's great. And I'm all for it. I've done it in the past. There are several pages throughout my journal that just say, I have gratitude for, or sometimes I even just write, I am thankful for, because honestly, especially when it's a list of things, tangible things, I just say, I am thankful for. And that does resonate with me in the moment because it warms my heart. It makes me feel good about myself because these are things I've acquired through effort and work. I earned the money to pay for them, or I worked hard to bring them into my life. And I feel proud of myself and thankful that I was able to accomplish these either tasks or tasks needed to acquire these things.
You should feel proud of yourself for that. And so this is definitely not an episode that's a knock on gratitude list. If that works for you, amazing. Keep doing that. I think we're just trying to get a little bit more creative and sort of dive into the deeper meaning of gratitude, the science behind it, and other ways that you can really practice it to feel authentic to yourself in order to tap into that energetic frequency that gratitude is so known for, right? I mean, there are endless benefits scientifically proven, such as stress relief, better sleep, higher self-esteem, improved relationships. And who doesn't want all these benefits?
I do. I like the way you said the energetic state it brings to you. That's a big tell for me when I can feel my mood elevating, when I can feel myself really getting into whatever it is I'm journaling about or putting on my list. Our regular listeners know that I've been partaking in my own little personal challenge, which is my Gratitude Mondays, where I pick one person from my life and write them an old school handwritten USPS, mail it off. I picked my dad last Monday. Wow. It was challenging, not because it was challenging to think of things I'm grateful for, quite the opposite. Where do you start when it's the person who has done more for you in your life than easily any other person and possibly all the other people combined? That's my dad. I could have just gone on and on and on. So I started with a card, filled both sides of the card. Then I moved on to a piece of just printer white paper, and I'm writing and writing and writing, and it turned into bullet points. I said, one huge thing I'm grateful for is the childhood you gave me because I had an amazing childhood and that was due in large part to you. These were some of the highlights. And I had so much fun doing it. The feelings I got reliving these memories were so real. It was as good as living them the first time. It made me so happy to write this. I was genuinely feeling what the happiest moments of my life felt like all over again.
Yes.
I had to cut myself off. I had to make myself finish because I thought, oh my God, my dad's going to open this tome and be like, what the hell? I have to read all this? What even is this? So I had to cut myself off thinking of him and what he would actually want to read. But oh my gosh, it felt so good. It was that energy.
I can feel that heartwarming energy that's coming through from you. Like you seem heartwarmed. Wait, that sounded like I said heartwarmed. No, that's what dogs get. No, you seem so like your heart is so warm right now.
Yes. It was
Yeah.
so fun to go back to what life was like then and who I was then and just remember it vividly.
Amazing. We did some research on Mind Body Green for this episode to get some more creative ideas and more of the science behind gratitude. And this is a perfect segue into the first how to practice more gratitude. So there's this idea of giving thanks as an action rather than being grateful for something. So we want to unpack this here. And Kit just gave a perfect example of an idea for you to make gratitude more actionable. Something like writing a letter to someone and stating all the reasons why you're grateful for them as a person and the qualities in them that are so awesome is a really cool way to bring gratitude to life.
You just described leveling up your gratitude. Level 1, you have the awareness, you make the list in your journal, and that's great. That still brings you some good energy. But when you level up and actually write to that person and detail specifically some of the things you're grateful they brought to your existence, you still get the benefit of experiencing them as you're writing them. But now this person is also going to experience them when he or she reads it.
Right. An energy exchange.
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
builds that positivity.
Dr. Samantha Boardman from Mind Body Green, who wrote this particular article, said if you keep a gratitude journal, consider recording not just what you're thankful for, but the full energy exchange. So, what you're grateful for in them and what you gave gratefully in return. Some other ways to show your appreciation, to make gratitude more actionable, to level it up, other than writing a letter to someone, is I love this one. Learn someone's love language and respond to it.
Yes. We touched on love languages in a previous episode. We talked about it in the context of the romantic relationship. But this is such an interesting perspective. How about learning it for all the other people in your life who you care about and want to show love, friendship, appreciation
Yeah.
instead of
Oh.
your language, how you assume they're going to feel appreciated and loved, showing it in their language. It is so much more impactful.
I love that. I've never thought about love languages outside of the context of a romantic relationship.
Right.
But I love this. My cousin told me, a few weeks ago on the phone that her love language was gift giving. And this light bulb went off in my brain like, oh, sweet. Now I know how to make you happy or brighten your day or show my appreciation
Right.
towards you.
Like you just made it so much easier for me to help
Yes,
you feel loved.
communication. Yes. So another way to make gratitude more actionable is giving someone a bear hug. Oh, my friend Christine did this for me the other week, and it's so true. I was talking about something that was making me feel sad, and she was sitting across from me, and she came over, just sat on my lap, and gave me a bear hug. And I felt so loved in that moment. So I think that this is also a great, easy tool to show someone you love them.
I really like that. This is, again, like read the room, read your friend. Is it a bear hug or is it simply taking the person's hand and just showing them you're there to love them and support them by holding their hand?
And let's acknowledge the space that we're in. Let's acknowledge the fact that COVID didn't allow us to hug our loved ones or to hold hands.
All the love was virtual.
Oh, God, that was tough. So now we're entering a vaccinated world where we can kind of go back to these amazing gestures, that human connection that we were so desperate for.
Human
Yeah,
touch.
it's important.
Studies prove that human touch heals.
Yeah. Helps the babies in the NICU
Yes.
when the mom or dad or someone puts the baby on their chest
The
and
skin
just
to
has
skin
skin-to-skin
contact.
contact.
Yeah.
We'll give you one more actionable item is practicing active listening. And so we actually have a full episode on this as well. It's called How to Be a Better Friend.
Yes, go refresh yourself.
And I do want to touch on one last thing in terms of showing gratitude is at the end of a yoga class when you say namaste, really what that is acknowledging the soul in another person.
Yes, the light in me honors the light in you. It's
Exactly.
taking the ego of the physical self out of the equation and saying, my energy appreciates your energy.
Saying namaste and bowing with your hands together, it's a conscious acknowledgement of that person's soul. So I feel like the theme of gratitude and what we're talking about in today's episode is this idea of consciously practicing it, putting intention behind it so you can cultivate that energy and attract more things to be grateful for in your life, because there are things in your life today that you prayed for, that you wished for years ago. And so it's another way to level up.
Along those lines, let's talk about our zoom out strategy for higher levels of gratitude. Here's a new lens. Instead of looking at what you can see from your current perspective, go to the top of a 10-story building in your mind. This is
Metaphorically.
metaphorically speaking. Now, look out at your world, at your environment. What do you see? You're going to have a new perspective on things.
Yeah.
So it's not coming so directly from your body and going arm's length in a circle around you. You can now extend further in what you see and acknowledge and have gratitude for outside of yourself and your body. I'll use the example of the body. You can say, I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful my strong body can sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, wake up feeling mostly refreshed, get me through the next day, carry me where I need to go, work out the way I want to work out, so forth and so on. Well, if I zoom out and look at human bodies, they're amazing, incredible things. And I'm so grateful because they do so much for us and they allow all those other personal gratitude items. They happen because we can do those things.
So it's taking the you out of the equation. And we were talking about this earlier, Kit and I, about, when you're, for example, in an anxious spiral, the focus, the onus, everything is on you and you're hyper vigilant, you're hyper aware of what are others thinking of me, me. There's so much going on. And so this conversation came up after reading this article from Mind Body Green, where Dr. Boardman said, the emphasis on self-immersion is actually the antithesis of what gratitude is all about and can ultimately make you feel unhappier, which was so interesting. This idea of me. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my experience. The idea of zooming out, the strategy of taking the focus off of you can actually make you feel happier, make you feel more grateful. I can compare to the idea of standing in a huge forest with these massive trees and feeling small and being in nature. It can really reduce anxiety because the focus is off of you.
Yes, I love that. Having gratitude for the physical environment of Earth. Like, forget just my neighborhood or my local community. The way Earth works and revolves around the sun, and we have days and we have seasons, and it logically makes a structure for us to live our lives.
The fact that food grows in the ground, all these beautiful things that we can be grateful for. And I really liked your example earlier that you talked about. We were on the phone and Kit said, oh, I get it. Instead of saying, I'm so grateful I live in Potomac, Maryland, zooming out and thinking about just Potomac as is and having gratitude. Wow, Potomac in itself is such a beautiful place. I'm glad it exists.
Absolutely.
So there's the zoom out gratitude method. Okay, so let's get into what gratitude is not. This is really interesting. Gratitude is not toxic positivity. It's not trying to be positive and only focusing on the positive and trying to force ourselves to feel good all the time or to look on the bright side. And again, we do have an episode entirely dedicated to toxic positivity if you want to check that out. Positive thinking is when you try and will good feelings or experiences into existence by focusing exclusively on the outcome you want. And so that's why I think at times maybe a gratitude list or something may not resonate with someone because they feel like they're trying to force it when maybe they're going through a tough time or experiencing grief or sadness or anger, which are all perfectly valid and normal feelings to feel.
So you're saying gratitude is not being an ostrich, sticking your head in the sand so that you don't see all the things you don't like and they therefore don't exist.
Right. And in this case, the sand is all things good and all things positive.
You must be realistic, see the world for what it is, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
Yeah. And I love this quote. In order to shift towards gratitude, we must surrender. Only then can we give rise to the reward of gratitude, pride, or self-compassion. So essentially what they're talking about here is the key point to experience something positive, such as gratitude, is we must first be real with ourselves about what we're actually feeling, whether that's grief, whether that's anger or envy or shame. The only way out is through. So to cultivate a positive outlook is to validate what we're legit feeling, no matter if it's painful or if it seems wrong to feel that way. Once we can find the truth about what we're feeling and behind what we're feeling, then we can move towards acceptance and then we can move towards gratitude.
We as humans are multifaceted individuals, and it is not paradoxical to simultaneously feel sad and have gratitude.
Mm-hmm. It's also saying that wishful thinking or trying to be positive and be like, I'm so grateful for XYZ is not really cultivating gratitude because you're not allowing space for all of the feelings, all of the human feelings that we experience. And so being able to sit with your feelings and being realistic and honoring those feelings is going to create more room to then feel gratitude.
I love that.
It's being authentic. And I feel like that's another theme of the episode is how can we authentically practice gratitude so that we can reap the benefits of it. And being authentic is accepting all of our feelings.
By being real with yourself, your whole self, it makes all the feelings more impactful.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the idea of envy. We've all experienced that, especially in this crazy digital age of social media, and also not being able to discern what's fake, what's edited, Photoshop from what's not. You can easily feel jealous.
You can feel jealous of things that aren't even real and not know it.
Yeah, and not know it. And so very often we seek feelings of gratitude when we experience envy, which is really common in our society today. And so once we surrender to our envy, we can feel grateful for what we do have. It's by contrast that we develop appreciation for what is positive.
That's a lot to think about. It goes back to our point of you have to acknowledge all the layers, all the emotions, the happy, the sad, and everything in between for all of them to be real.
Yeah. It's working towards authenticity.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like what it's saying is if you accept your envy, like I'm super jealous of this girl, she lives in this multi-million-dollar mansion or has the best clothes or the best blah, blah, blah. If you can accept your envy, then you can move towards more authentic gratitude. I know that might sound weird or complicated, but instead of wishful thinking, I wish I had that and being in this negative space, acknowledging your negative feelings opens up room to feel gratitude.
It feels complicated because it is complicated because we're complicated people with complicated minds.
We want to finish out with if you're feeling stuck still. If practicing gratitude is hard for you right now, here's what to do. Surrender to your painful emotions. Next time you're working towards cultivating gratitude, start by asking yourself, what is getting in the way of me feeling grateful or happy or proud? Then work with yourself as you would with a friend who is struggling. Investigate with an open mind. This is the practice of acceptance, which ultimately leads to true positivity because you're not in resistance mode. You're accepting reality. You're accepting what is instead of wishing for things to be different, which is so painful to be stuck there. I've been stuck there for sure.
Whenever you're stuck, you're going to have to take a step in the hard work direction to get out of it. And I think that's why we as humans allow ourselves to stay stuck for so long, because it's scary to take that first step out. As you said a few minutes ago, the only way out is through. When you are brave enough, I won't even say when you feel ready, because you're never going to feel ready. Just do it.
True.
When you feel brave enough, take the step, feel the feelings, and you will feel them releasing their hold on you.
That is so cool. So you can rest knowing that gratitude is going to authentically come once you are able to accept your painful feelings and move through those tough times and move through those uncomfortable feelings. I love it. So you can stick with the gratitude journal if that's your vibe. We have a little November challenge for you. Or you can try by practicing actionable gratitude, showing gratitude towards your loved ones by those tips that we said earlier. Gratitude month is the month of November. Pick one thing a day, one moment a day, 1 minute a day to practice gratitude in the way that resonates with you. Start small. Anything to get you in those feel-good vibrations, those authentic feel-good vibrations, we support.
A small timeout moment on life can do so much to set the rest of the day up for success. Especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, when your to-do list is too long. Those are the perfect times and the hardest times to push the pause button, because you're thinking, I can't right now. I have to keep knocking things off. But sometimes if you can just push pause anyway, take a few deep breaths, think some very real thoughts that recenter your energy in the direction you want, as opposed to the direction you were getting caught up, so that you're controlling the direction you're going. It will help all the things get done and get done better than if you hadn't pushed pause and you kept trying to plow through.
Really quick before we let you go, I have one quick hack to hack into positive feelings. It was the loving kindness meditation we did at Georgetown Kit when they said, think of that person or that being that you love so much that would just instantly change your mood. And for me, that's my dog, Bella. You guys, if I just think about her, it changes and shifts my mood entirely to get into a good space. So there's a little hack for you.
That's an awesome hack. It is a powerful tool. That is so great for changing your whole energy. Please follow, subscribe, like us, tell a friend, share the Soulful of Wellness love. We have gratitude for you, our wonderful listeners. Thank you for joining us again this week.
So grateful for you. Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light.
The Soulful of Wellness hosts are certified health and wellness coaches. This podcast is intended to inform and entertain listeners on their wellness journey. This podcast is meant to enhance, not replace, listeners' care from doctors, therapists, or other medical providers. So full of wellness.